You are listening to Grammy's Rocket Chair on RLM Radio.
The girl of your dreams has got to be in some bar.
Sorry, boys and girls, but this is X-rated. So if you're under 18...
Get out, goddammit!
Get the point? Good.
And now?
Bend over.
Y'all ready for this?
Get it up. Get it up. I can't wait anymore.
I like to watch.
Whatever you desire. I know you'll like it. Do it.
We do it all night long.
And now, your host, Grammy.
Oh yeah, it is a wacka doodle Wednesday here on the RLM, and this is Grammy Mary, and I'm just gonna be jibber jabbering because I took the day off, so I'm still in my jammers. I'm being a lazy bum, so there. I didn't check much internet out except for I was kind of sort of hanging out on YouTube most of the day and listening to videos or watching videos. And occasionally I would, I blended up a few oil blends for a couple of family members that are having a few health issues. And I really haven't checked a whole hell of a lot on the internet. So this last half hour, 45 minutes, I finally kind of got on here and started snooping just a wee bit. Oh, jewelry 3D printer? Dude. That would be fun. Yeah, cowboy, that was kind of an interesting one. I do have one hand in my pocket and the other one's making a peace sign. Just remember that index finger is a little bit shorter, so it's real easy for me to bend it over and give you something else as well. That, peace be unto you. Okay, over here on this effing side, I see Cowboy Tech's been posting a lot, as well as the lovely Terry Sanders, TD Sanders. Awesomeness, TD, that is so awesome. Such wonderful news. And Bobby, I see you. Thank you, sweetheart, for sharing that. That's so awesome of you. I also see I'm here, and Grimmy's been here, and Fraser Flav, and Katie Troxel. Excuse me, hiccup. Wow, that snuck up on me. Over here on Twitterville, thank you ever so much, Barman, for tweeting me out. I found quite a few links, actually, on Twitter, including one that I got up from Grimmy from the chat that I'm going to have to check it out because, well, yeah. Grammy always shares very interesting things. Oh, wow. That's a really bright uniform. They got a live video feed going on the side of Twitter, and it's like, whoa. That is really, really, really neon greeny, yellowy, whatever the hell. Dude, seriously. Okay. I haven't logged into Corner Pocket. Damn it. Hey there, anybody over in Corner Pocket that's listening in. Sorry I didn't get logged in, and I'm a little tarded today. I did forget to over on Minds as well. I am so totally slipping. See, this is what happens when I take a day off. It's like, okay, it's brain farts are us kind of day. Thank you, Grimmy, for sharing that again. I'm just going to pop that over on Minds real fast because I'm lazy. It is live right now. Okay, over on Fakey Book, really not a whole heck of a lot going on over there either, other than finding out from some family members that they were needing some oils. And David Standing Oak, thank you, hon. He always shares some of the craziest shit. You know, like the thing that I learned about being the black sheep is that the white sheep are great liars. Yeah, I know quite a few people like that. And my nephew said it's Wednesday already. I know, right? It's a short week. And next week's going to be a short week, too. It's like, dang, what the hey? 2 weeks in a row that have been short weeks. Especially for me. I've only had to work 3 days both weeks. So, yeah, I'm going to have to be retrained. That's just all there is to it. Okay, let's see. Now that I've hit all those, how about over here on the RLM, which is where you need to be if you want to give me static, by the way. Give me some grief. Give me some shit. I don't care what you want to call it. Right up top is Barman again, 'cause he's just everywhere. He's like Santa Claus, only better. Moosey! Hey, Moosey! I see you just popped in. I also see Cowboy Tech. I hope you're hearing pleasant voices, darling. And Grimner, who is the RLM god, don't you know? He's kind of like the creator of Santa Claus. Only not. And the lovely Moose Girl has logged in. Moosey! Yay! And Kate, who was not necessarily bragging, but she did share, what the temperature was in her neck of the woods. Yeah. And she had to turn her heater on this morning. Oh, yeah. 'Cause she had to take the chill off. 'Cause it was only 56 degrees Fahrenheit. 56 degrees. I remember that from one time or another. Yeah, the last few days it's been in the single digits. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Winter, I realize you need to show up. But this crap of showing up with bells on is just, that's absolutely redunculous. This single digit crap right away. I ain't ready for it. I ain't. I also see Asmo is here, as well as the lovely Beth Z. And Chalcedony got the O going on. The lovely Chloe is in the chat. And I'm here, kind of, sort of, maybe, almost. I also see IB Don C is here. Hey, Don, how you doing? And Java Doctor 2 is in the house. Oh, real quick, heads up. Today is Bo Diddy's birthday. Today is Bo's birthday. Today is Bo's birthday. Happy birthday, Bo Diddy. JJ's is in the house. Hey, JJ's, I saw that you had been playing quite a bit over on their Twitter. Moosey just said she won't be here for Freakers on Friday. Going up north for some hockey. That violent game. Way up north, huh? Way up north where the Eskimos go. Don't you eat that yellow snow. Just saying. Them Huskies, you're going to Kanukistan almost. Holy crap, and only that is way up north. Okay, speaking of way up north, yeah, that's where Beth Z is. I also see Juana Taco, and you know what? That does sound lovely, but I already had supper because, well, I was home and being a slacker all day. And so I threw the leftover breakfast casserole in the oven and had that. Nom, 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 nom. I also see Meisterbrow is here. Hey, Woody, how you doing? The lovely Rain is in the house, as well as RLM Fluke, the Vanna White of the RLM channel. Rob Works is here, and I see that Rob has fired up that bubbler and passed it around. Thank you ever so much, Rob. Truly appreciate it. Let's see. Trust no one. Darth Roams is here. And Beetle! I see Beetle's logged in. Hey, Beetle. As well as Kofax 101 and Dimma. Dimma is not so dim. Dodgy Debaser. What the hey? Dodgy Debaser. Okie dokie. I also see a Flash Nasty is here. Hey, Flasheroony. How you doing, dude? Frumpy is also here, as well as Gooberzilla and Grimdroid. A Grimdroid, how cool is that? And looky there, Kozu is in the house, as well as Bot. And Motley Alaskan. Hey, Motley, how's things way up north? You are way up north where the Eskimos and the Huskies go. You definitely need to watch out for that yellow snow. Poxified is here, as well as Pompopon Sauce and Teddy, the cuddly one. I don't know if Teddy is cuddly or not, but Teddy is here. And to round out the crew, the one, the only, the guy that did my intro, Phantom. Thank you ever so much, Phantom, for that intro. I truly do enjoy it. Free Enslaved. Hi, Free Enslaved. I see you, sweetie. Welcome aboard, hon. Okay, way up north. Okay. Now that I have done all of the intros, wow, excuse me, overachiever. That was really, really fast of me. What the hey? See what happens when I take a day off? As opposed to having an off day. Oh, funny. Meme over on Twitter. When I'm done, it'll be like you were never here. No, Trumpelstiltskin, you won't be able to erase that smear. That's a skid mark that never goes away. Sorry, hun. Okay, I had to have a sip of coffee. That's probably what my problem is. I'm coughified because, man, oh man, I've been drinking coffee all day, so I'm going to be a buzzin'. A bazuzzin'. Best Hillary meme collection. Oh, funny. No thanks. I don't think I could stand to look at that a whole bunch of times. But thanks, Bob Renner, for sharing it. Okay. I got this one from the lovely TD Sanders over on Freedom's Network. Thank you ever so much, TD. You are awesomeness, dear lady. And darn, I'm going to have to listen to the... sorry, I just... Squirrel. I see that Gary posted the link for the Road Less Traveled Christmas special, and I'm going to have to listen to that. That's one of the things I didn't get to today. Gosh darn it. Okay, 18 facts we didn't know at the start of 2017. Here you go. Thank you once again, TD, for this one. Number 1. Lungs don't just facilitate respiration. They also make blood. Mammalian lungs produce more than 10 million platelets or tiny blood cells per hour, which equates to the majority of platelets circulating the body. I did not know that. This was actually posted May of 2017, but hey, this is cool. Number 2, it is mathematically possible to build an actual time machine. What's holding us back is finding materials that can physically bend the fabric of space-time. Don't be bending the fabric, because then you get creases, and then next thing you know, darts will be coming back into fashion. Excuse me, and those darts, man, they were, when I first learned how to sew, I had a pattern that it looked simple on the picture. It wasn't so simple. And, well, me being a little thing and I wasn't really developed yet. And so those darts were way too high. But, oops. Okay. Number 3. I bet that was something that y'all will be going, oh, man. Did she really have to share that? Yes, I did. Number 3, Siberia has a colossal crater called Doorway to the Underworld. And its permafrost is melting so fast that ancient forests are being exposed for the first time in 200,000 years. And you know why? Global warming, climate change. You know what? Climate changes. That's what it does. Serious. Number 4. The world's first semi-synthetic organisms are living among us. Great. Scientists have given rise to new life forms using an expanded 6-letter genetic code. Oh, so in other words, you're going to be playing with these things, and you really don't know what they'll do yet. But, you know, you're having a damn good time creating all of this fun stuff. Thank you from the rest of the world for this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful little surprise on the rest of humanity and the rest of the ecosystem, for that matter, assholios. You know, just because you can do a thing doesn't mean you should. Number 5, Vanta Black. The blackest material known to science is now in a handy spray-on form. And it's the weirdest thing we've seen so far this year. And there's a link to that, and I'm not going to go there because I don't want to see something that black. Number 6, it's official. Time crystals are the new matter of, or state of matter. And we now have an actual blueprint to create these impossible objects at will. Great. One more impossible thing. You know, just because in Alice in Wonderland, you know, the one with Johnny Depp, where she says, you know, my father used to believe in 6 impossible things before breakfast. That doesn't mean you've got to do it. Number 7, a brand new human organ has been classified, and it's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. So, everyone meet your mesentery, whatever that is. Do I want to click on that? I'm a button pusher. What do you expect? The mesentery. Oh, shit. It's a brand new organ. Where's it at? Oh, in our digestive system. Well, cool. Okay, I'm going to go back to where I was then. Thank you, sciencealert.com. Number 8, Carl Sagan was freakishly good at predicting the future. His disturbingly accurate description of a world where pseudoscience and scientific illiteracy reigns gave us all moment for pause. Oh, there is so much scientism going on in the world right now. I have letters after my name. Therefore, you must believe everything I say because I'm a scientist. Science! Yeah, right. Just like I believe everything on the internet, hun. Number 9, a single giant neuron that wraps around the entire circumference of a mouse's brain has been identified. And it appears to be linked to mammalian consciousness. Ah, so we all have or is it just mice that have a single giant neuron? Please don't be dissecting people to see if you can find it. Number 10, the world's rarest and most ancient dog isn't extinct after all. In fact, the outrageously handsome New Guinea Highland wild dog appears to be thriving. Well, y'all know what dogs do. Maybe not as prolific as bunny wabbits, but yeah. Number 11. Your appendix might not be the useless evolutionary byproduct after all. Unlike your wisdom teeth, your appendix might actually be serving an important biological function, and one that our species isn't ready to give up just yet. And I gotta disagree with this here just a little bit, because your wisdom teeth, yeah, they're starting to find information about that as well, and the reason why they're called wisdom teeth. Research it. Number 12. After 130 years, we might have to completely redraw the dinosaur family tree, thanks to a previously unimportant cat-sized fossil from Scotland. JJ's! Did you have a key cat dinosaur and you didn't tell me? I want to see pics. I know there's a link here that you can check out, but I'm not going to go there right now because it's just cat-sized. It doesn't mean it is a cat. Polycystic, number 13. Polycystic ovary syndrome might actually start in the brain, not in the ovaries. That does not surprise me one damn bit because, you know, your mindset a lot of times determines on how quickly you heal once you get some kind of dis-ease going in the body. And the brain is not just in the brain, it's also in the digestive system. Just throwing that out there. Number 14. Earth appears to have a whole new continent called Zealandia, which would wreak havoc on all those textbooks and atlases we've got lying around. Zealandia. I wonder if maybe that is the Leeches at Bees answer to Admiral Byrd saying that there is, when he crossed South America, or no, not South America, Antarctica, he found a landmass larger than the United States, which, you know, that would put it in the Indian Ocean, from, you know, judging from where he left. But hey, see, there's a whole new continent. It's called Zealandia. Wink, wink. Who'd have thunk that we, even with Google Maps, we wouldn't have seen that? Number 15. Humans have had a bigger impact on Earth's geology than the infamous Great Oxidation Event 2.3 billion years ago. And now scientists are calling for a new geological epoch. The Anthropocene, to be officially recognized. Or is that Anthropocene. However you pronounce it. It depends on where you put the emphasis, apparently. Number 16. Turns out that narwhals, the precious unicorns of the sea, use their horns for hunting. But not how you'd think. I wonder if they go, "On God," or blah, 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 blah. Because I would think they would spear, with that. But then how do you get it off the end? It's like my mom always said that people in hell are sitting at this great big banquet table. And they have all this wonderful, their favorite foods, as much as they want to eat. The only problem is shackled to their hands, to where their hands are in like a glove kind of thing, is these 6-foot long forks and spoons. And, since everyone in hell is there because they're selfish miscreants, they don't think to feed another person and possibly have that other person feed them, but that's the only way they'll be fed. So they sit there at that wonderful banquet and they cannot consume anything because their hands are, that's what my mom always told me. Number 17, human activity has literally changed the space surrounding our planet. Decades of low frequency or very low frequency or VLF radio communications have accidentally formed a protective human-made bubble around the Earth. How funny. Now see, some of the things that I was listening to today were some flat Earth videos and listening to some debunker ones, and just kind of, I was perusing today. I was listening to things that I have been curious about and wanted to. And wow, how funny. So we did it. We turned us into the Truman Show. And lastly, number 18, farmers routinely feed red Skittles to their cattle because it's a cheap alternative to corn. Bullshit. So, I wonder how many other of these are bullshit. Because, that farmer is routinely feeding red Skittles. No, they do not. At least not the ones I know. They don't do that. And Skittles have corn in them. I believe they have corn syrup of some kind. So, but it's on the internet, so it must be true. Right? Right. Okay. Oh, it's... Really? It's sponsored by the letter F? Yay! Oh, cool. And Grimnoid has quit. Damn it! Trump declares war on the number 4 and all of its agents and affiliates. Well, why 4? Why 4 does he pick on those? I do not know. That's just not right. Why is he declaring war on the number 4? I like the number 4 because I have 4 fingers on one hand and then I have a thumb. It's not the same. It's the same thing, only different. How about that? Okay. You know what? I keep seeing Twitter is updating and I'm just going, there's some bud. I'm going to go ahead and close Twitter now. So, once again, thank you ever so much, TD, for that link. That was really pretty awesome. I'm going to put this over here on Minds, as a matter of fact, just because it is interesting. Okay. Now, speaking of, talk about synchronicity or all kind of other fun stuff. No, I don't want to subscribe to your newsletter. From the glutenfreesociety.org, and I was checking this out because another dear friend of mine is allergic to corn, so she has a very, very restricted diet. Bless her heart. And hidden corn-based ingredients. Skittles because of corn and going to hidden corn-based ingredients. Let's check this shit out, shall we? In the Gluten-Free Society, it recognizes that corn gluten is a harmful component for the gluten sensitive. Studies show that people with gluten sensitivity can have reactions to corn gluten as well. Well, yeah, and you ever stop to think that they use Roundup on wheat and they use Roundup on corn, and Roundup has a tendency to well, it expresses itself, or they're finding connections that say it expresses itself in causing people to be gluten intolerant. Yay. Study number 1, corn glutens cause antibody responses to celiacs. There you go. Celiacs. Study number 2, corn antibodies found in celiac patients. Study number 3, gluten-free bread causes problems. Great. Study number 4, corn causes gastrointestinal inflammation. Because it's been tweaked, don't you know? And they didn't have to go through any kind of stringent testing or anything because they'd already paid off Congress. Study number 5, corn oil causes villous atrophy. What's that? The sum of all parts is larger than the whole. Often that is true, Goober. That is true. Study number 6. Corn mold causes illness. And yet, I saw a video a couple weeks ago where, have you ever grown corn and the kernels get all white and really puffy and they get this black scuzzy on them? That's a fungus, basically. But down in Mexico, that is a delicacy. Now, when my corn does that, no, I pull it. Because it's like, no, I'm not eating that. Sorry, that's just gross. And finally, study number 7, corn gluten acts like wheat gluten. Well, it's gluten. And corn and wheat are both treated with Roundup, glyphosate, which has adverse effects on the human, as well as the critters that eat it. Like cows and pigs and chickens. One thing leads to another. In addition, evidence shows that corn and corn-based products are largely produced from genetically modified varieties, or GMOs, and can contribute to intestinal permeability, vitamin and mineral deficiencies, and a host of other health issues. Yeah, why? Because they're tinkering with shit and they don't know what the results are going to be, but by golly, they can, so therefore they do. And guess who gets to pay for it? Everyone else. To better help those trying to adhere to a true gluten-free diet, we have comprised a list of foods and products that contain corn. So ingredients that definitely contain corn are corn. That's so funny. You buy corn chips and you see the little warning on the ingredients thing that says warning contains corn. Redundancy. Captain Obvious has stepped up and labeled things. Okay. Ingredients that definitely contain corn are corn alcohol, corn chips, corn gluten, corn or extracts, corn flakes, corn flour, corn fritters, corn oil margarine, cornmeal, corn puff cereal, corn starch, corn sweetener, corn sugar such as dextrose, dino, cellulose, pyritose, sweetose, glucose are all possibilities. Corn syrup solids, corn, popcorn. Who'd have thunk popcorn has corn in it? Duh. Cornmeal, you already said that. Corn starch, corn flour, corn tortillas. Grits, yes, because grits are made from hominy, which is in the corn family. High fructose corn syrup, hominy. Ding, ding. Hydrolyzed corn protein, maize, which is another member of the corn family, modified cornstarch, polenta, tamales, the coating, yeah, because most tamales are wrapped in corn husks, taco shells, well, duh, they're corn shells, vegetable oil, Z-maize, and Zein. Zein, whatever that is. Ingredients that may contain corn. Then again, they may not. Not all of these terms are definitive derived from corn, but they can be, so be cautious. So, acetic acid, alcohol, alpha tocopherol, artificial flavorings, artificial sweeteners, ascorbates, ascorbic acid, aspartame. Ooh, that's just nasty, nasty stuff. Astaxanthin, which I think is another name for, isn't that what they changed aspartame to? I could be wrong. Baking powder. Oh, great. Barley malt, bleached flour, blended sugar, brown sugar, typically the caramel color, calcium citrate, calcium fumarate, calcium gluconate, calcium lactate, calcium magnesium. Okay, let's face it, peeps. This list goes on for freaking ever. I'm just going to go ahead and share it. It's like, holy moly. But it's on the internet, so it must be true. I would still be careful. Use spam for ink. Ew. Let's see. Dad says next thing to come are Star Trek replicators and transporters. I don't want to be one of the first million people that get transported, because I want them to work out all the bugs first. I do think that would be a fun way to travel once they figure out all the bugs. But until they do, I'll drive. Thank you very little, because I'm kind of a wussy. And I really don't want to come out of that transporter with my foot where my ear should be and my ear on my ass, which I guess would be better than talking out my ass. But not necessarily. No, I'll wait till someone else tries it. Okay. Let's see. Now, where else do I want to go? Do I want to go? Ooh, okay. Let's go with an obvious ass munch, and then we'll move on from there. How's that sound? This is from the Daily Caller. I saw this over on Twitter. In their politics section, Sheila Jackson Lee's long history of being entitled queen. That's a really nice way of saying biatch. Just saying. Sheila Jackson Lee has been a congresswoman for over 20 years. Entirely too frickin' long. People. If you truly believe that voting works, and you truly wish to have term limits, do not ever vote for an incumbent. You will have term limits. If it really works. Okay, circles, I won't. Okay, so, however, 20 years. However, she acts far more like an arrogant monarch than a humble servant of the people. Why? Because they know that they are not humble servants of the people. They are arrogant, assholio monarchs. Not the butterfly version either. The Texas demon crap has regularly abused her power and position to demand and receive special treatment from private companies. Ooh, I think that's pretty much just a trait that those that are the leeches that be, they like to, be that way. I think it's just, maybe it's genetic. I'm not sure. Bless their hearts. They really need to go through some humanities, like real dealing with humanity as opposed to, oy. In any case, she likes to demean and harass subordinates and reap untold benefits of being the queen. So, when her abusive behavior comes to light, Jackson Lee often claims her opponents are racist. Well, yeah, because if you can't win an argument with facts, sling mud. Jackson Lee's most recent abuse of power comes at the expense of teacher Jean-Marie Simon, who was allegedly bumped from her first-class seat when Jackson Lee demanded it. Simon was given a voucher for her flight by United and moved to the economy section. Oh, I'm thinking, I got one hand in my pocket and the other one's doing a peace sign with the index finger slightly lowered. On her way to the back of the plane, Simon saw Jackson Lee occupying her seat. Sheila Jackson Lee, a demon crap from Texas, in seat 1A, the one I paid for dearly, and the one United gave to her without my consent or knowledge. Fellow congressman on same flight says she does it repeatedly. Oh, United, you really are not helping your press at all. In a Facebook post, Simon says that she spoke with a congressman who said that Jackson Lee regularly poaches seats from other passengers. I was the last passenger on the plane, and a Texas congressman, a nice guy, sat down next to me. He said he was glad that I had made it on the flight, and I showed him my boarding pass with my seat 1A printed on it. And he said, "You know what happened, right? Do you know who's in your seat?" And I said, "No." And he told me that it was Jackson Lee, a fellow U.S. Congresswoman who regularly does this. That this was the third time he personally had watched her bump a passenger. Why does he not call her out on this shit? In response to the accusation, Jackson Lee called Simon a racist, saying the teacher caused a stir because I was an African-American woman. No, she caused a stir because you're a selfish, petulant little baby who is also a big-ass bully, you boofer butt. According to the tweet, or I believe this is a tweet, I noted that this individual came toward me and took a picture. I heard later that she might have said, "Who is," or "I know who she is." Since this was not any fault of mine, the way the individual continued to act appeared to be, upon reflection, because I was an African-American woman. Well, honey, you know, when you reflect in a funhouse mirror, you're always going to get a distorted view. Just gotta tell you. It has absolutely nothing to do with your pigmentation and everything to do with your assholiness. Along with being a teacher, Simon is a celebrated photojournalist who helped document human rights abuses in the Third World. This is not the first time that Jackson Lee claimed privilege while flying. Where's this white privilege again that I keep hearing about, and yet I'm not experiencing any of this? Apparently, a well-documented report from the beginning of her congressional service shows that Jackson Lee would regularly demand first-class upgrades and throw temper tantrums when she did not get specialty items and treatment. Once, when Continental Airlines did not have a seafood meal option in first class, Jackson Lee reportedly had a meltdown saying, "Don't you know who I am? I'm Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Where is my seafood meal? I know it was ordered." Well, sweetheart, obviously your seafood meal, if you see food, you eat that food. And if you do not wish to eat that food, then shut the fuck up. Daily Mail reporter David Martosco tweeted his experience with Jackson Lee on an airline flight on Tuesday, saying that I saw Sheila Jackson Lee on a domestic flight 2 years ago. While I was walking back to coach, she was throwing a hissy fit in first class over why the steward had to gate check her carry-on. It was too big to fit in the overhead. And she threw a tantrum worthy of a 3-year-old. See? Petulant child. Petulant child. This is certainly not the first time that Jackson Lee has thrown temper tantrums when she did not get preferential treatment and then claimed racism when she received bad press over the incident. Honey, you get what you give. According to a thorough 2011 Daily Caller report on Jackson Lee's antics, the Congresswoman once requested to be driven through an area that the Secret Service said was off limits. When the Secret Service stopped Jackson Lee's vehicle, she claimed it was because the white officers were racist, although the officers were Hispanic. But that doesn't mean that they weren't racist against her, because true racists see race in everything. Apparently, a former staffer recalls one revealing episode during the height of the financial crisis and the waning months of the Bush administration. Jackson Lee demanded a meeting with a top Treasury aide, even though she did not sit on any of the committees with jurisdiction over financial matters. As her car pulled up outside the Treasury, Jackson Lee told her driver to park directly outside the door. Due to the proximity of the Treasury Department's headquarters to the White House, Secret Service officers told the driver not to park there. After an argument with the agents, who kept telling the driver to back off, Jackson Lee finally emerged from the building. As the car drove away, a Secret Service van flashed its lights behind them. "Keep driving," Jackson Lee told her staffer. Ultimately, the driver pulled over in defiance of his boss's wishes. At this point, Jackson Lee emerged from the car screaming, "I'm Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Who do you think you are?" This was to the team of Secret Service agents. Jackson Lee accused the white agent at the gate of racism, claiming that she wouldn't have to deal with this stuff when Barack Obama became POTUS. Really? Honey, when you start it, you're going to have to deal with it. She then filed a formal complaint with the Secret Service, which prompted an investigation, and a Treasury official later explained that the accusation had been dismissed because the agent in question was Hispanic, not white. In 1977, in a visit to NASA, never a straight answer, Jackson Lee asked if the Mars rover, that NASA had landed on the planet had located the American flag planted on the surface. It's not there, honey, but that's a whole other story. No astronaut has ever been to Mars, and when the embarrassing anecdote was reported, Jackson Lee claimed it was a racist attack. No, it was having fun at your expense because you're a moron. Embrace it, sweetheart. Sometimes it's fun to embrace how ignorant we can be, because I tell you what, I've pulled some pretty moronic stunts myself. They've been epic, too. Just gotta tell ya. You thought you could have fun with a black woman member of the science committee, was her defense in a letter to the editor. Jackson Lee once tried to close down an entire hallway in her congressional office building so that she could have a private meeting with Michael Jackson. Okay, when was this? Was Michael still had a tan? Oh, I know. No, he didn't. One day in March of 2004, Jackson Lee told colleagues on her hall in Rayburn that the corridor would be closed from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. to accommodate her visit from Michael Jackson. The House Administration Committee promptly informed her that she had no authority to close a public hallway. Well, just ask the Queen. She will tell you she can do anything. And if you say she cannot do so, it's because you're a racist asshole. That's why. Apparently, her rude and abusive treatment of those around her should come as no surprise to those who have followed her career. And yet, I wonder, if voting really worked, how the hell does she keep that job? The Congresswoman regularly and habitually abuses subordinates and staff, often resulting in their endangerment and eventual departure from her service. Oh, 'cause they are there to serve her hiney ass. According to accounts from former staffers, Jackson Lee would berate staffers, calling them names like "you stupid motherfucker." Well, honey, that's when you hold up a mirror and say that again. I double dog dare ya. She was physically abusive, throwing cell phones at staff and demanding unsafe driving while being chauffeured, which resulted in at least one car accident. Probably the person that she had the accident with was a racist and was gunning for her. Doesn't make a shit bit of difference that it was her driver's fault, but it was the other guy was a racist and was gunning for her. I'm sure that's the story. She would demand staffers go to the market and buy garlic supplements for her at 2 a.m. and would be furious with them if her demands were not met. Peace be with you, darling, although the index finger is slightly lower. Dozens of tales of mental and physical abuse of those around her have been reported and corroborated. You just don't understand. I'm a queen and I demand to be treated like a queen, she once told a member of her staff. Queen of farts. Or maybe Queen of sharts. No, Queen of sharts is still Hillary. She's got that one. Well, what an absolutely lovely individual she is. Don't you know? Okay. Oh. Ow, rascal. Owie. Okay. Let me post this over here on this effing site. These are the people that are supposed to be representing us, or people in Texas at least. It's like, wow, what a total load of poo. Honey, you aren't that special. Everybody's special in their own way, and your specialness ain't any more special than anyone else's, so get off your high horse. Okay. So, now that we've done that one, here's another one that's on a high horse. Such a high horse that she's actually, I think, been nominated for sainthood, if she didn't already get it. From worldtruth.tv, Mother Teresa exposed. New evidence shows that she and the Vatican were even worse than we could have imagined, which, okay, I got to put this out there. I really do have a very vivid imagination, so I'm just going to put that out there. Renowned humanitarian and winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, remember, or it's a Nobel Prize she won. Of course, remember, once again, Dingleberry got that, and he hadn't even done anything. All he did was walk into the White House and start acting like he owned the place. Yeah. In any case, Mother Teresa is a name that is recognized and respected by many. Not me. Originally born Agnes Gonza, Gonxha, however you would pronounce that, Mother Teresa has recently been receiving a renewed look at the validity of her reputation. Often named as one of the most admired women in the world, author Christopher Hitchens was the first to expose a very different side in his book, The Missionary Position, Mother Teresa in Theory and Practice. While his book was widely criticized, Hitchens was never sued for libel or slander, nor, surprisingly, were any of his claims refuted or even received direct response from the Mother Teresa Foundation or the Vatican. While this is not an admission of guilt by any means, it certainly doesn't look good to leave these statements in a gray area. Essentially, the argument against Mother Teresa revolves around four main points. 1. She seemed to love suffering, and she espoused everyone's suffering. Number 2, she often refused to provide adequate medical care. Number 3, she may have received financial support from disreputable sources. And, okay, who in the public eye hasn't? Just got to put that out there. And number 4, claimed mistreatment of her nuns. Soon, a peer-reviewed paper from the University of Montreal may make even bolder claims against Mother Teresa's saintliness. The summary below is a press release by the university. The myth of altruism and generosity surrounding Mother Teresa is dispelled in a paper by Serge Larivy and the Genevieve Chanard of the University of Montreal's Department of Pseudo-Education and Carol Senecal of the University of Ottawa's Faculty of Education. The paper will be published in the March issue of the journal Studies in Religion Sciences and is an analysis of the published writings about Mother Teresa. Okay, when is the date of this? Wonder if that's coming up or if that was last year. Like the journalist and author Christopher Hitchens, who is amply quoted in their analysis, the researchers concluded that their hallowed image, which does not stand up to analysis of the facts, was constructed and that her beatification was orchestrated by an effective media relations campaign. While looking for documentation on the phenomenon of altruism for the seminar on ethics, one of us stumbled upon the life and work of one of Catholic Church's most celebrated women, and now part of our collective imagination. Mother Teresa, whose real name is Agnes, says Professor Larivy, who led the research, the description was so ecstatic that it piqued our curiosity and pushed us to research further. As a result, the 3 researchers collected 502 documents on the life and work of Mother Teresa. After eliminating 195 duplicates, they consulted 287 documents to conduct their analysis, representing 96% of the literature on the founder of the Order of the Missionaries of Charity, or OMC. Facts debunk the myth of Mother Teresa. In the article, Sergey and his colleagues also cite a number of problems not taken into account by the Vatican in Mother Teresa's beatification process, such as her rather dubious way of caring for the sick, her questionable political contacts, her suspicious management of enormous sums of money she received, and her overly dogmatic views regarding, in particular, abortion, contraception, and divorce. Number 1, Mother Teresa often refused to provide adequate medical care, preferring to take joy in patients' suffering. This is from a press release. At the time of her death, Mother Teresa had opened 517 missions welcoming the poor and sick in more than 100 countries. Now, the missions have been described as homes for the dying by doctors visiting several of these establishments in Calcutta. 2/3 of the people coming to these missions hoped to find a doctor to treat them, while the other third lay dying without receiving appropriate care. The doctors observed a significant lack of hygiene, even unfit conditions, as well as a shortage of actual care, inadequate food, and no painkillers. The problem is not a lack of money. The foundation created by Mother Teresa has raised hundreds of millions of dollars, but rather a particular conception of suffering and death. There is something beautiful in seeing the poor accept their lot, to suffer it like Christ's passion. The world gains much from their suffering, was her reply to criticism. This is according to Christopher Hitchens, Nevertheless, when Mother Teresa required palliative care, she received it in a modern American hospital. So, her beliefs for others did not apply to herself. Gee, I wonder who else that works for. Number 2, she would receive money from dubious sources, yet use almost none of it to help others. Again, quoting the researchers, Mother Teresa was generous with her prayers, but rather miserly with her foundation's millions when it came to humanity's suffering. During numerous floods in India, or following the explosion of pesticide plant in Bhopal, she offered numerous prayers and medallions of the Virgin Mary, but no direct or monetary aid. On the other hand, she had no qualms about accepting the Legion of Honor and a grant from Duvalier dictatorship in Haiti. Millions of dollars were transferred to MCO's various bank accounts, but most of the accounts were kept secret. This is according to Sergei. Given the parsimonious management of Mother Teresa's works, one may ask where the millions of dollars for the poorest of the poor have gone. I would like to know. She promoted an anti-abortionist journalist, Malcolm McGuggeridge, and her beatification wasn't based on genuine miracles. Well, that doesn't surprise me one damn bit. What's the other one? Okay, that's rather long and drawn out, so I'm going to let you guys read it because it's leaving a nasty taste in my mouth. I had read several things about Mother Teresa, and she was, yeah. Well, the sad thing, Circles, is that a lot of people say they do this shit in Jesus' name. And, it's kind of like under the color of law. Frickin' psycho. They're just psychos, and they say they're doing it in the name of religion. It's no different than any of the wars that are going on in the name of, and they're great at getting people to follow along. It just amazes me. And I got to tell you, for a while there, I was one of those that it's like, them some bitches, they deserve it. And then I got to thinking, wait a minute, what if they thought that about me? That would not necessarily be a pleasant way to go, would it? And trust me, I had several people that over on Fakeybook, when I disagreed with them, I got called a heretic. I can't tell you how many times. And I actually had one person tell me that they wished that I would get raped by 100 Muslims. And I thought, oh, well, aren't you a special individual? But, it was one of those times where I had to go, wait a minute. Wow, they could just blithely just type that out and not feel one bit bad about it. It's like, damn, maybe I ought to step back just a skosh and rethink some of my attitudes as well, because I think that attitude pretty much sucks. Which, I told him thanks, but no thanks. That's not exactly high on my hit list. And a lot of other people jumped down his throat, but to me it was like, okay, sweetheart, that you have a right to your opinion, and if you want to be a total douche about it, I'm just gonna let you be a total douche and deal with the consequences of what you put out there for all the world to see, or at least those in that group. And then I told them that I'm done with your group. You wish to have people like that. I really don't care to associate with people like that, and so therefore I'm leaving. Thank you very much for the education. So, possibly a chicken shit way, depending on how you wish to look at that, but that's the way I handled it. I don't need to put up with that shit. Okay, from the anti-media, this is from Grammy. And this is just another one of those things where I got several ways of looking at this just from the headline. The headline is, New Zealand grants mountain the same legal rights as a person. Number one, if you actually look at what person means according to legal, from what I understand, not that I necessarily stand under it, but from the way I perceive what they're saying, a person is a dead entity, or, like a zombie. You're just something to be used until they're done using you, and then you're to be discarded. So why wouldn't a mountain be treated the same way as we are? If you want to look on the metaphysical side, or however you want to look at philosophical side of that. Apparently, New Zealand has granted a mountain the same legal rights as a person, according to The Guardian. Located in New Zealand's North Island, Mount Taranaki will be the third geographic landmark in the country to be deemed a legal personality. Well, okay. I give Mother Nature a personality, or I grant that she has one, because there's times when she just gets flat-ass cranky with the weather. Guardianship of the sacred mountain will be shared between 8 local Maori tribes, New Zealand's indigenous population, and the government. The decision is a long-awaited acknowledgement of the indigenous people's relationship with the mountain. They view it as an ancestor and family member. Okay. I get that. Apparently, it is 120,000 years old and is also a dormant volcano that last erupted in 1775. Under the new designation, if a person or entity brings harm to the mountain, the legal rights protecting the mountain will be the same afforded to an ordinary individual. So in other words, if they feel as though it will be beneficial for themselves to pursue it, then they will. But if they don't, then they will sweep it under the rug. Pretty much the way that shit works. The move also entails that the land owns itself and cannot be owned by another human. Okay, I don't really have a problem with that either, but you know what? When you start saying that the land owns itself, once you set that precedence, honey, then all kind of people are going to start, and then pretty much it's going to come down to you don't own everything that you think you own, which, okay, number one, you don't anyway, because once you die, someone else is going to occupy that spot anyway. So it's not like you own it. It's not like you can take it with you. Because if you own something, you can actually, either safeguard it or take it with you. In my mind. And my mind is a wonderful cluttered place. But all Crown-owned land within the national park, all Crown-owned land within the national park, it will be vested in a legal personality, meaning the land will own itself. A special legal status that has been previously granted to Te Urawira. Okay, I'm not even going to bugger up 2 other places in New Zealand. Bless your hearts. I'm glad you guys pulled that off because you're setting precedents here. The concept was considered groundbreaking and was used to neutralize a controversial issue of ownership. Instead of human ownership over the environment, it embraces the Maori relationship with the land and recognizes its cultural and spiritual significance. And if you realize that we need it, it does not need us. Puts a whole new spin on things. Their prescience pervades our scenery and projecting mystery, adventure, and beauty, capturing our attention and our imagination in how humanity can be closely bound to a landscape. I get that. According to Andrew Little, New Zealand's Ministry for Treaty Negotiations, Mount Taranaki will now become a legal personality in its own right, offering the best possible protection for the increasingly popular tourist attraction. So in other words, don't be putting tats on it that it didn't ask for. Don't be throwing your trash on it. Don't be trashing the place up. You really don't want to piss off a volcano because, they get mad enough. They start spewing stuff that'll melt your sorry ass. As a New Plymouth local, I grew up under the gaze of the mountain, so I am particularly pleased with the respect accorded to the local Tangata Wenau, or local people, and the legal protection and personality given to the mountain, Little said. Well, today's agreement are a major milestone in acknowledging the grievances and hurt from the past as the Taranaki iwi experienced some of the worst examples of crown behavior in the 19th century. Yeah, if we think we were the only asses, or if we in the United States think that our ancestors were the only assholes in the world, like compared to the Native Americans, or I'm a Native American because I was born here, therefore I'm Native. The first peoples, the indigenous ones, well, ain't nobody indigenous anywhere except for Africa. If you want to get really particular about it. There are assholes all around the world. And when people allow them to behave like assholes and get away with it, this is the kind of shit that happens. Repeat a lie often enough, like, I am your ruler. I know what's best. Go kill that person. No, you started off with a lie. And so therefore anything that stemmed from it is a lie. Period. This goes on to say, one of the most successful aspects of the development is that as part of the agreement, the New Zealand government is required to apologize to the local Maori for the previous breaches of the treaty it had made against the mountain. However, local tribes will not receive any monetary redress as compensation. Why? Because, well, they would just be getting their own money back anyway, because that's where government gets their money, is they steal it from us, or they print their own, because, they got a monopoly money machine. The recent move follows the Waitangi Tribunal report from 1996. Holy shit. Took them long enough. That said there was no valid basis for the government's confiscation of the mountain from the Maori in the first place, which... Ta-da! Okay, so those fighting with the Bundy Ranch, wow. Y'all are progressing a hell of a lot faster than the Maori people did. Consider yourselves blessed, I'm thinking. Because, wow, 1996? Holy shit. That's a lot longer than the Bundy thing's been going on. Not that that doesn't make the Bundy thing any less bullshit. But, yeah. Imagine fighting it since 1996. It provides that sense of place, or the mountain provides that sense of place, social association, and identity, said the chief negotiator, Jamie Tuta. And earlier this year, New Zealand granted the 90-mile that river the same legal rights as a person in a similar move, and India followed suit not long after. Cool. New Zealand also granted similar rights to a national park known as Te Uru... Yeah, to a national park. I'm sorry. I'm not going to totally butcher that name. We trace our genealogy to the origins of the universe. And therefore, rather than us being masters of the natural world, we are part of it. That was stated by Gerard Albert, who negotiated legal personhood for the river. And you know what? I've watched some videos on the Maori people. Holy crap. I mean, they really seriously have a verbal lineage going back centuries, if not millennia. I mean, however you want to... They really do, because it's like the tribal elders. They will find someone in the tribe, a child or whatever, that they deem will be good for this, or able to do this. And they start training them at 7 to remember, or as early as 7 to start remembering all of this lineage. And they're starting to be, their verbal history that they have kept from one generation to the next is starting to be proven by archaeologists. So, the government kept saying, oh, that's not true. We don't sanction that. We don't agree with that. Well, yeah, archaeologists are starting to go, excuse me, but there's archaeological proof of what they're telling you. Dude, you're going to have to shut up. Check it out. It really is pretty cool. Pretty fascinating. Missing from the discussion on this issue is that the New Zealand government will retain guardianship on the mountain. See, I knew there had to be a catch somewhere. That's the same New Zealand government that is working to cement the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, or TPPA, with full knowledge that the Maori claimants view the agreement as detrimental to their native rights. Despite its positive implications, also missing from the topic is the notion of where such a move will lead the human race in the years to come, particularly in relation to artificial intelligence. Saudi Arabia recently granted citizenship status to a robot. It's probably because some Saudi prince wanted to marry her. And it is not too far-fetched to assume that in the very near future we will be seeing legal protection afforded to more than just our sacred mountains and rivers. I don't have a problem with protection. I have a problem with the government being guardianship of that. Because seriously, I've seen the way they take care of things, and I don't think that they're adequately prepared to do it right, if you know what I mean. So, this one's kind of a I'm going to sit back and wait and see. I may have to check this out later and see how things develop, because that is setting precedent. Anytime you do any of that shit through the courts, and that's basically how they make any kind of constitutional decisions as well, because they don't base it on the Constitution, they base it on prior case law. So, okay. So, where else do I wish to go? I need to go check out the chat, because y'all have been... Oh, Poxfight's going for food. Maybe. See ya, Pox. I'm going to have some munchies here when I get done, because, yeah. I'm going to need to do that when I get done. Okay. I sprayed him. Oh, don't be spraying no critters with Febreze. What'd you spray with Febreze? Okay, I'm catching up on the chat here. And, oh, you sprayed your invisible friend. Okay, you can do that. Poxfied, you can make your own Febreze. It's really very easy to do. Just get you some vodka and some distilled water. And do, depending on how big your spray bottle is or whatever. But do it mostly, just almost fill your spray bottle with your distilled water, and then put like a shot of vodka in there, and then add a few drops of whatever your favorite essential oil is, because vodka is antibacterial, antimicrobial, and it really doesn't have that much of a smell to it. And then when you put the essential oil in there, like if you do a citrus oil, those are also good for cleaning and for antiviral, antimicrobial, yada yada, blah blah blah. And then you just shake it up before you use it every time and spray your furniture, and you have that lovely smell, and you're not using all those nasty ass chemicals that they put in Febreze. I do it. Mine has I think the last time I used Citrus Bliss, which is a blend of citrus oils. Lemon and orange and lime and grapefruit. It's kind of a blend of all of those. It smells wonderful. Da-da-da-da. Okay. Crayon and paper may do... Oh, crayon and paper. You guys are going into what? Okay. Oh, Flash has quit and Circles has quit. Okay. Okay. Let's see, what else do I have now that I've kind of run through all of those? Oh yeah, there was something in the pocket that I wanted to check out. Okay, let's see what this one is. This is from medium.com. 40 things I would tell my younger self now that I'm 40. Really? And I'll probably forget by the time I'm 50. Okay, Sarah, you know what, honey? That's probably something that I would do. Although I wouldn't wait till I was 50. I'd just have to walk through a doorway and it'd be gone. I do have a serious case of hereafter disease. I come in here and forget what I'm after. So, number 1. When you're exposed to poison ivy, go home and take a shower immediately. But when you wake up the next day totally fine, don't go and put on the same shorts that you were wearing before because they still have poison ivy on them, you dumbass. Wow, I wouldn't do that anyway, Sarah, but thanks for that advice. Number 2, if your date leans over and tells you he doesn't like your dress, just as the off-Broadway play that he got tickets for on Groupon is about to start, don't go home and throw the dress away. Break up with him. Okay, well, that works with... Why are you going with him if... I don't get the whole breaking up. Just go home. Say, thanks for your advice or your input. I happen to like the dress. See ya. Number 3, online dating is a giant waste of time. If you had seen the dating profile of the person you ended up marrying, you never would have gone out with him. Possible. Probable. Number 4, some of the things you're scared of trying aren't scary because you shouldn't be doing them. They're scary because you love them so much and don't want to fail. But if you don't even try, you've already failed. Now that is excellent advice. Number 5, don't make life decisions when you're in a bad mood. True. Moods are moods. They are a temporary state of being that can be influenced by hunger, sleepiness, your period being late, oh my God, or anything. Know when you're in a mood and just chillax. Number 6, going backwards never works. When you go back to Atlanta, it won't be the same. When you go back to San Francisco, it won't be the same. If you go back to New York, it won't be the same. Recreating the past is not possible. Something will always be different, and you will definitely be different too. It's also good advice. Number 7, your need to be perfect is so boring. Embrace your fuck-ups. Oh God, I do. It's like, yeah, I did that. I don't plan on me doing that again, at least not on purpose, but yeah, I did that. Embrace your imperfections. Embrace what you're not good at. Be exceptionally good at being not good at those things. You will stand out for that, not for being perfect. Yeah, I have learned from my brother Dammy to not do things I'm not good at. Try it several times, and if you still realize that you're just not good at it and you're just getting frustrated, stop doing it. Just stop. Number 8, always be willing to walk away. See? Never want something so badly that you're willing to sacrifice everything for it. Have faith that if it doesn't work out, something else will. And if somebody expects you to sacrifice everything for them, that somebody is not worthy of you. That's my input. Number 9, don't put your heroes on pedestals, and even if you admire them greatly, never admire them more than you admire yourself. Because they are human too. Number 10, your best mentors will find you, not the other way around. Put yourself out there and be the best you can be. One day, someone will want to help you. That person will be your mentor and will help you more than you could have imagined. And you know, the other thing is you need to realize that sometimes the best mentor you can get is someone that teaches you a negative lesson. Someone that teaches you how not to do things, or how not to behave, or what not to say. Sometimes those are the best mentors out there. Number 11, serendipity is real. Say yes to things, finish things, try things, even if there's no obvious reason or benefit. You'll be surprised at what crazy things will come out of them. Number 12, just because other people like something doesn't mean there's something wrong with you if you don't like it. You know, like asparagus or Brussels sprouts. I do not like them, Sam I am. Remember that guy you were with just before everyone else thought he was cool? Yeah. Way to go on that. Yeah. Number 13. There'll be a lot of waiting around in life. Waiting for a chance, waiting to hear back, waiting for the next thing. But if you ever find yourself just waiting for something to happen, find something to do instead. Never ever just wait around. Talk to people. Do your makeup. Read a book. There's always something you can be doing. Number 14. Life goes around in circles. Something that may seem like the best thing ever might end up not being that great. And sometimes what seems horrible might turn out to be the best thing that could have happened. The opposite of whatever's happening right now is probably around the corner. Yeah, we all have our opposite days, don't we? Number 15, don't be scared of burning bridges that you never build anyway. It might make you anxious to get close to people or to be too giving or have people start to expect things from you when you're not sure you'll always be able to deliver. But the alternative is not getting the chance to build real, meaningful, lasting connections with people. So don't be afraid to say, hey. You might be pleasantly surprised. And you might get one of those opposite day lessons. You never know. Number 16. Take the list of things you want in a partner and change it to the list of things you want in yourself. Oh, God, yes. Yes. Because you always attract where you are. And you know, a lot of people will say, but I'm always getting this asshole, or I'm always getting this depressed guy, or I'm getting this psycho, or I'm getting, yeah, look at yourself, honey. Seriously. Are you having some issues? If you attract someone that is confident and secure in themselves, then apparently you are as well. Like follows like. If that's not a 100% rule, though. There is no such thing as a 100% rule. Hey, and I just made it a 100%. There is no 100%, but whatever. Okay, number 17. That thing you worried about happening will never happen. So if you're worrying about Yellowstone exploding, stop it. Stop it. It's not like you can do anything to stop it anyway. If you're worried about that giant meteor, stop it. You can't do anything to stop it anyway. If you're worried about waking up tomorrow morning and having a bad hair day, go with the messy bedhead look. It'll work. Trust me. Number 18. That thing you're not thinking about will you're not thinking about happening will happen. That, yeah, that has a tendency to. Yeah. If you're not, things tend to sneak up on us from time to time. Did you know that? Number 19, if you have to complain, try doing it with a smile. Even if what you're saying is negative, a smile will make it feel positive for both you and the person you're complaining to. Bless their hearts. Number 20, the conversations you have with people might feel meaningless. Small talk might be painful. It might just feel like blah, 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 blah. But what you're saying isn't that important. Making connections is important. You don't have to be the smartest or the funniest person in the room. Just be the one most open to having a conversation that might go nowhere. And you never know, that smile that you give someone might just be the thing that brightened their day. I work with the general public. I've seen that happen. Number 21, talk to your parents. Like, really talk to them. Ask them about their childhood. Make them tell you all their best stories, because there is so much you don't know about them. And oh, I tell you what, it is so funny. Now, my mom has told me more stories about when she was a kid in these last couple of years. It's hilarious. It is so much fun. And I go down to see her and we drag out pictures and I start finding out all kind of wild and crazy stuff. My mother always told me that she was such a good little girl, and now these last couple of years, some of the stories she's telling, it's like, you were good at what you're doing. I know better now. My mother was ornery. Imagine where I get it from. Number 22, it's easier to go where people want you. And use that to get where you want to be. Than to go where people don't want you and try to make them want you. Then try to use that to get to where you want to be. Yeah, in other words, you can't force someone to want you to be around. You can't force someone to love you. So learn that really quickly. If it's not just an automatic kind of thing, excuse me, which liking a person is not necessarily automatic, but forcing yourself on people, forcing your opinion on other people, all you're going to do is push them farther away, because it's like magnets that they reject each other. It's not cool. So don't go there. Just go with the flow. If people invite you over, then check it out. If you're not interested in going, then say thank you, no. Number 23, punishing shitty people isn't your job. No, it is not. No, it is not. That's a hard lesson for me. Because there's times when I really think, oh, if you got what you dished out, like the whole shock collar thing, I would love to do that. And yet again, then I stop and think, someone would want to do that to me, I'm sure. So, yeah, it's a thought. Number 24, your happiness is no one else's job. Again, true. No one else can make you happy. You have to make you happy. If you don't want to be happy, that is your business. And no amount of anyone else spreading sunshine is going to get you happy unless you want to be. Number 25, trying to impress your parents is a complete waste of time. They're already proud of you. They just want you to be happy. So do what you want. And you know what? If your parents weren't already proud of you or didn't just want you to be happy, they wouldn't have let you live past puberty, okay? Number 26. Being likable is more important than being talented. But liking yourself is more important than other people liking you. And you know that it really is true. If you don't like yourself, you're not going to put out the vibe to where other people will like you anyway. So, learn to like yourself. Then learn to love yourself. Because when you learn to love yourself, you don't always have to like yourself, but you still know you got to take care of yourself. Number 27, to lose weight, eat less. That's it. That's all there is to it. You can exercise, but then you'll eat more, so that might actually be worse than just eating less. Actually, everything in moderation. Okay, not everything, because you don't want to go out killing people in moderation. Ain't no such thing as killing people in moderation, is there? Number 28. You will waste tens of thousands of dollars on gym memberships and personal trainers. You hate gyms and you hate personal trainers. Okay, maybe you can give the gym another try, but never, ever, ever work with a personal trainer again, even if the first session is free. I know some personal trainers, and as people, as individuals that I can just sit and talk with, I love them dearly. They're lots of fun to jibber-jabber with. But once they start telling me, no, you gotta, no pain, no gain, I want to bitch slap them. I had one tell me one time, I could help you firm up those abs. And I looked at him and said, quit looking. It's none of your business, darling. I kind of like having a soft-sided cooler around my six-pack abs. Number 29. Don't judge anyone without knowing the context and their circumstances. And even then, maybe don't judge them. You can judge their behavior, judge their words, their deeds. But them, yeah, because you don't really know where they come from. And unless you ask them to clarify, you really don't know the perspective that they're putting out there. Number 30, your biggest competition is yourself. Oh, I get cranky with myself all the time if I don't do as well as I think I should. Number 31, while you worry that other people are worried about what you're doing the same thing. So stop worrying. Okay? Gets gray hair, which works for me right now because I now have purple and blue in it. But hey, stop worrying. Number 32, saying I love you is a commitment. It does not mean I think you're pretty cool. Yeah, it is. But it's mostly a commitment to yourself, not necessarily to the other person. It's a commitment to yourself because you want to do right by that person then. That's pretty heavy. Big responsibility. Number 33, there's something you can learn from every single person who crosses your path. Maybe strike up a conversation with a stranger sitting alone, staring into space next to you at the coffee shop. Sure, the thing you learn could be, I don't want to talk to this person. But even then, they might make a great character in a story. See, those negative lessons, those not so positive ones turn out to be positive if you look at them properly. Perspective. What is it Monty Python says? Always look on the bright side of life. Thank you, Life of Brian. Number 34. That dream you've had since you were a kid may not actually be the thing you want. Don't feel bad about that. The sooner you accept it and the quicker you can do something else. Number 35. That dream you've had since you were a kid may actually be the thing you want. But it will still be a pain in the ass sometimes. Number 36. Learn how to listen. Just listen. Not fix anything. Not judge. Listening without judgment is so much harder than trying to come up with a solution for everything. But way, way more useful. And you know what? I have found that to be true. Because I try to give advice and then I learn just shut up. Of course, I take the advice that I'm giving out eventually. But yeah, sometimes people just need to hear it out loud and then they will, if you just let them keep going and keep talking, they will solve their own problem. But you just need to hear it out loud. Number 37, when you're 30, you'll wish you were 20 again. When you're 40, you'll wish you were 30 again. So maybe whatever age you are, you can just be happy You're that age. Okay? Hey, I made it this far. I am 13. Number 38. While you're complaining about not having any friends, there'll be people actively trying to hang out with you who you'll be completely ignoring. Maybe you need to stop ignoring them. Yeah. Number 39. You might think that weird hair growing on your face is gone, but it's not. It's just gray now. Thanks for that reminder. Now I'm going to have to go look in the mirror and find the tweezers. And finally, number 40. 20 years of only occasionally washing your face before bed has taken its toll, but it's never too late to start. Well, it might be too late in about 10 years, but that's from Sarah Cooper, who is an internationally recognized soothsayer. Oh, yeah? Well, thank you, Sarah. She is a medium and a writer and a comedian. And that's from December 23rd. And it said 6-minute read, but sorry, Sarah. It took me a little bit more than 6 minutes, I think. But thank you. They are, I think, quite a few words of wisdom. Fed is the biggest employer in the U.S., and that doesn't include social assistance. Oh, that's true, Frumpy. That is true. Let's see. Okay. Just a sec. I may even... Okay. And I'll put that over here on the Freedoms Network as well, just because. And wow, I've been jibber-jabbering. You have a good one as well, TD. And thank you, sweetheart, for sharing that info on how well you are doing. That's just awesome, awesome, awesome sauce. That's all there is to it. Okay. I'm going to go check out the pig now. My headphones are slipping for some dumb reason, possibly because of the little clippy I have on the top that is not necessarily an appropriate place for when you're wearing headphones. Okay, from the Free State of Pig. Hambo, and it is the season. Hambo and Ports are a couple of wild and crazy guys. In their word of the day today, gender, it is a noun. It is a word for a change. Thanks, guys. Formerly a defining trait that was issued at birth, it lost its immutability, there you go, and is now determined on a minute-by-minute basis based on the whims of cross-dressing twerps who are alienated from their assigned nads. Ah, I did not know that. Thanks, guys. In the quotable quotes section, demon craps and leftists have decided what they're for. They've got to stop attacking people who disagree with them for the mere act of disagreeing. When they do so, they only show how hateful and small-minded they actually are. That's from Dr. Hurd. And now for this date in history. Darkest hours, dangers. Oh. Okay. This date in history. The 27th of December, 1900. Party animals from sea to shining sea get a strange sense of foreboding when a humorless harpy named Carrie Nation uses her axe to destroy her first bar. That's just wrong. You know what, sweetheart? If you do not like alcohol, don't drink alcohol. If you are in charge of someone, like a younger person, and you do not like alcohol, do not allow them to consume alcohol. Or to the best of your ability. But don't tell someone else that they can't just because you don't like it. Now, I occasionally imbibe, but not very often. And when I do, I'm at home. I don't have to go anywhere. So, yeah, or for the most part, I'm at home. Or I have someone that'll drive me. This date in history, the 27th of December, 1937. The anal retentive retards at NBC Radio get their panties in a wad when Mae West performs an Adam and Eve skit, prompting them to banish her from their patch of the public airwaves. Imagine that. Mae West doing something that gives someone a knot in their knickers. I'm shocked, I tell ya. Okay. Oh, let's check this one out. Seeing as how I've been on a real rip snorter pretty much tonight, except for that last article. This one was also from my pocket, and it's timeline.com. KKK may have died in obscurity if this sinister racist woman didn't come along. Elizabeth Tyler realized that there are all sorts of non-whites to hate. I thought maybe it was Margaret Sanger. On the evening of October the 11th, 1921, Elizabeth Tyler was entertaining a few friends in her elegant Atlanta home. After all, the guests had departed. The 40-year-old public relations mastermind for the KKK retreated to her bedroom to read, leaving the window shade up and a bright light on in the front of the house. At 9:45 p.m., 5 gunshots rang out. Half an hour later, the telephone rang at the Atlanta Constitution. "I want to talk to a reporter," the voice on the other end of the line said. "I just want to tell you that we got Mrs. Tyler tonight." Oh. The assailants, who were never identified, hadn't gotten anyone. All 5 bullets had missed. The shooting was an attempt on the life of the most powerful woman, the most influential person, really, in the KKK, whose leaders had called her a model of American womanhood. It was a strangely progressive remark, considering that wife and mother were the only Klan-approved roles for women. Tyler's story is a surprising but formative chapter in the American white supremacy narrative, and her contributions to the Klan still animating the white supremacy movement today. So what were her contributions? I'm just going to leave this one for you guys to read, because that's not what I thought it was. And I'm just kind of, yeah. Moosey got a duck. Moosey's going to have duck for supper. Maybe not tonight, but... Okay, my pocket let me down. Actually, I read a headline and it didn't pan out. Okay. I'm just going to read you some of these headlines because, wow. The worst rim job story ever. I don't know that I want to go there. That's just, no. Customer service rep who feels neglected by his wife. No. How to fall asleep in under a minute. Hey! Let's see. There's a guy that has 37 books, and Bill Gates has all 37 of them. I really don't know that I want to go there because he's probably one of them eugenist kind of inoculate everybody. Key officials push back against Trump's claim. What? What's that? Oh. Trump gives presidential challenge coin a makeover. Ah, whoop-de-doo. Let's see. Should I go to NPR? Let's check this out. 5 things on Michael Flynn, Russia, and Donald Trump. Let's see what they are. POTUS Trumpelstiltskin and his top aides can't seem to shake the Russian bear that follows him around. Well, that's because you guys won't let it go. It's dead. Quit dragging it around. It's drawing flies. It reeks. Stop it. It put its paw on the scale of the U.S. presidential election last year. No, it didn't. But, if it comforts you to think that way. This is according to the U.S. intelligence community, which is kind of an oxymoron, if you ask me. It cost Trumples his then campaign manager, Paul Manafort. And now the connections between Trumples' camp and Moscow might mean that another top aide, National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, could be sent off to Siberia. Metaphorically. Really? Apparently the top democratic on the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff of California, said Friday that if reports are accurate, it's an awful big word for only 2 letters. If reports are accurate about Flynn's contact with Russia's ambassador ahead of sanctions imposed by POTUS Dangleberry last year, he should no longer serve in this administration or any other. Okay, sweetheart. Are you looking at any of the other people? Are you pointing fingers and you're not looking at where the other 3 fingers are pointing? I'm just curious here. If more Democrats or critically Republicans join Schiff in calling for Flynn to step down, Trump could have the first big staff crisis of his new POTUS. Big whoop. Like it. Is this a smoke and mirrors kind of thing? Apparently, Flynn's conversation, begins before the Trump administration even took office. As the outgoing Dangleberry administration was wrapping up a last bit of ugly and difficult business, I think that whole administration was ugly and difficult business, but that's my personal opinion. Russian POTUS Vladimir Putin had ordered his intelligence agencies to wreak havoc in the U.S. POTUS race. No. Really? This is according to America's top spies. They had concluded this. They did not have evidence. They just concluded this. They did so by hacking into email accounts of Democratic and former national security leaders and releasing what they stole. This is frickin' priceless. Wow. See, you give people the same facts to start with, the same little kernel, and it's amazing how warped the fruit can become depending on, where it's grown. Ooh. With the investigation concluded and the case made in public, Dangleberry was under pressure to retaliate. He did so by expelling some Russian spies operating under diplomatic cover, closing sites they were using outside Washington and New York, and imposing economic sanctions on the Russian Military Intelligence Agency. Another spy service, the FSB, and their top leaders. Well, and we all know that it didn't come from Russia. Meanwhile, Trumples, Flynn, and then Vice POTUS-elect Mike Pence and the administration in waiting were getting ready for the inauguration in their own assumption of responsibilities. On Christmas Day, before Dangleberry announced his punitive measures against Russia, Flynn communicated with Russia's ambassador to the U.S., Sergei Kislyak, that they talked is not in dispute. The issue is what they said. If you weren't in the room, how do you know what they said? The Washington Post reported on Thursday that their discussion included, if not a warning by Flynn about the pending new sanctions, a promise that whatever Dangleberry did, Trump would undo once he was in office. It's called politics, number one, sweetheart. And number two, why not give him a heads up? It's not like sanctions really do anything. Y'all. If Flynn was negotiating with the Russians on on behalf of an administration not yet in power, that could technically be against the law. Might, almost possibly, technically, on a technicality, if we really stretch it, cross our fingers, cross our eyes, and stick our tongue out just right, that could be against the law. Although it's a law no one has ever been prosecuted for breaking. It's the Logan Act. The conversations also exposed the Trump administration for more charges about secret collusion with Moscow. You guys call it secret. They call it not necessarily calling out a press conference and saying, hey, guess what? This guy, he's going to go and talk to this guy. And apparently a spokesperson for Flynn told the Post that he didn't remember all of what was discussed and that it's possible sanctions might have come up. Okay, big whoop. But on January 15th, Pence said categorically on CBS's Face the Nation that Flynn and Kislyak did not talk about sanctions. Okay, well, if they didn't, then what's the big frickin' deal? Apparently the Watergate rule, or some such nonsense. Ugh, I've had enough. I can only take so much, and I can't stand no more. 'Cause it's like, it hurts to contort like that. Oh, cowboy, that's a good one. Little old lady from Pasadena. Okay, yes, I do surf a lot, cowboy. And yeah, I am kind of sort of a little old lady from Pasadena, and I got an old vehicle that would, yeah. Okay. I'm trying to find one more quick little ditty. And I'm really not seeing anything here in my... Okay, from Mashable, 30 innovations that improved the world in 2017. I can do that before I get done tonight. I think. Yes, continue reading. Number 1, the 20-cent paper toy that can help diagnose diseases. What the hell is that? Oh, the paperfuge, developed by Stanford assistant professor of bioengineering, is a hand-powered centrifuge that was inspired by a whirligig toy, and it can hold blood samples on a disc. Cool. Number 2, the safe robot sleeve that can restart a falling heart or a failing heart. That's kind of cool. Number 3, a Facebook translation bot for refugees. Well, you know, it's not just for refugees. I use it myself from time to time. Number 4, smart glasses that help legally blind people see. You know what? I love those videos of the people that sing us a song, you're a Grammy lady. No, you don't want me singing, Moose. I know you're just getting started on this thing. Okay, a cardboard drone for humanitarian aid. It's like a paper airplane, only not. 3D printed sex organs to help blind students learn. Are you kidding me? That's one of the top. All right, Mashable, if it comforts you to think that way. Number 7, a texting service that contacts Congress for you in 2 minutes. Hello, I'm ResistBot. I'll help you contact your officials. No, they're not my officials. They're just some dumbass who claims to represent me. But I'm not insane. Or am I? Number 8, the app that detained immigrants to contact their family. Where did Mashable come up with this shit? Number 9, a mobile-based ambulance taxi program in Tanzania. Number 10, an app that gets kids moving and help other kids too. Yes. Oh, let's see. Number 11, Facebook's digital maps that help with disaster relief. Okay, I never saw that. Number 12, the chat bot that wants to help you with your mental health. No, thank you. No, thank you. Number 13, an app connecting refugees with crucial services. Okay, once again, I probably haven't ever, I know I haven't ever heard of that. Number 14, a solar-powered tent designed for homeless people. Now, that is cool. That is cool. Unfortunately, someone will probably confiscate them all and say you're not allowed to be here. Number 15, the app that could help end female genitalia mutilation. You know what could help ending female genitalia mutilation? When you find someone that does that, make sure they can't use their hands to do that anymore. Number 16, an eyeglass accessory to alert deaf people of sound. Okay, that is kind of cool, but I'm still liking and I don't know if it was, no, I don't think it was developed in 2017, but the glasses that can help people that are colorblind actually see color, those are freaking awesome. Those are awesome. Number 17, the tool that turns your extra computer power into bail money. No. Number 18, this game-changing Braille literacy toolkit for kids. Now that is cool. That is cool. And yeah, I can see that. Number 19, an air-powered wheelchair for kids with disabilities. That is also cool. Okay, I like that. So far, I got about 5 of them that I agree with you on. Number 20, the first gender-inclusive educational toy. Big fail, big fail, big fail. Number 21, a robot lawyer for low-income families. Don't go there. Don't go there. Number 22, these period-friendly boxers for trans men. What? Holy Mashable, honey, you fell off the deep end. Number 23, oh shit, I'm out of time. A revolutionary gene therapy treatment for cancer. See, they include that cool stuff in all of these. A breast pump. Okay. I am out of time, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and share this. Mashable, you failed miserably. Sorry. I'm not impressed with what impressed you. Y'all been listening to Grammy's Rocket Chair here on RealLibertyMedia.com channel 3, also on the RLM Spreaker channel, and later to be on the RLM YouTube channel and on all kinds of other channels. And I am over time, but you know what? Pooh. Oh, pooh. I will be back on Friday for the Freakers Ball edition of Grammy's Rocket Chair and for the end of the year kind of thing, although I'm not sure what I'm going to do other than it'll be my end of the year kind of thing. And Moosey won't be around for the Freakers Ball, so it will be Balls to the Wall Friday night. Uh-oh. But until then, y'all have an absolutely amazing rest of your evening or rest of your day or whatever time frame you may be into. It's time-space continuum. And I will catch up